Yeah. Well, we appreciate you sharing that because, when talking with family caregivers, it's very personal. It's more intimate than if you're just talking to like an author or a brand, and it's not as meaningful sometimes if they don't have that personal connection. But we try to talk with just family caregivers so that they not only know they're not alone, but also to offer support to other family caregivers to let them know they're not alone and there is hope and there's light at the end of that tunnel. And we appreciate you sharing your story. I wanted to start off though, really right off the bat with challenges because there's good days and bad days, as I'm sure you can appreciate. What are some of the biggest challenges though that you face in your caregiving role?
That's a great question. And the first question, the first part of that, I just really wanted to speak to, and that is like isolation, feeling like you're alone. And I think that despite even having family around, sometimes you can feel alone. Like you can still have those feelings of isolation and people not fully understanding. But I would say the biggest challenge for me has, I guess, the first part of it, I would say, is just navigating the finances, right? And I'm gonna just say that right off the bat because I think that is a common element. Like, how am I gonna do this? Can I work? Am I gonna be able to go out and work? Can I work from home? Who's gonna care for that person? And so I think that everyone has a different dynamic. So whether it's say child, parent, husband, wife, wife, husband, like, or however that particular combination works out to be, I think that's the other challenge. So like now understanding my role as like a wife and a caregiver and like how that also affects my husband. Like that dynamic was just figuring that out was another challenge. And then just dealing with the emotional element of that, right? It's never, everyone's in a different place on the caregiving journey, meaning that they might be caregiving for a temporary amount of time because the person's going to get better and then they're going to be better. And then you have people who they don't know, they're on edge. They're walking on that. They could be okay. They might be okay. And that's a totally different level of anxiety than you having some sort of like resolve. And then in some people it's terminal or it's long term. And again, that's one of those roads where you don't really know where you're working. So I would say the big ones are basically the dynamic of the relationship. Just to be frank, you never think you're going to be cleaning your significant other. You don't know how to, it could be overwhelming to navigate the medical system and then how that flows into finances. I just would say that money touches everything. And I thought, oh yeah, it's really powerful because you never think about it until someone's sick and then
Right.
you're navigating that road. And so, and then the emotional aspects, like there was a word I learned, and it's kind of like anticipatory grief. I don't
Yep.
know if that's an official thing, but like
It is.
sometimes you're crying and you're like, everything's okay, the person's stable, but you're crying because you feel a loss that you're dealing with an emotional thing that you're not even like able, and I could cry about it right now. You're
Right.
not able to like fully articulate what you're feeling. And so then people want to comfort you, and it's not really anything that can be comforted. It's just something to process.